Every time I went on the bus, I had a conversation with the bus driver. But I always persuade people. Yeah, you see us.
Right, Caesar, all right, brother? How you doing, man? Sorry, all right? How you doing, man? You all right? You good? Yeah, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Say that again, darling.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since I could hold my head up high. It's been a while.
Hey, singer. We were doing last night where we all got together in a pub and we were sharing our music and our comedy and poetry.
Okay,
It was pretty good.
I'm actually live right now. Are you comfortable being on camera, or should
I
I?
don't mind.
Don't mind. Well, I'm glad that, because people need to see. You're looking absolutely beautiful in that dress there. There you go, aren't you? Yeah? Always like that, right? Always that. I've just got here now. I'm just looking to start the live stream now. I'm gonna have a little one here, and then hopefully we'll catch. What's the camera on? Yeah, we'll see where it goes. Yeah, I don't know where we're going either. I'm gonna little wander back shortly. Yeah, all right. Cool, you mingle, yeah, I'm going to mingle the same. Caesar there's one man reports, there's Greg. So yeah, do share this video around, guys, because obviously I'm live reporting. Danny, I was just chatting to Danny. Danny, are you okay being on camera? Are you okay just live streaming now? Are you okay giving a little comment or whatever? Yeah, this is obviously, Danny Rampling. He was on UNN the other day. Guy, what do you think about the interview the other day? I thought, oh, you know what, honestly, I listened to the interview you're on. I went, do you know what? I mean, I've always had high respect for you anyway. We know each other like fairly well, don't we? And it's like, I thought, wow, you know what? Danny's just like so articulate. He's like so intelligent. You know what I mean? Now, bro, that's not me trying to butter you up or anything like that. I thought, that was a really great interview. And I had, who I had on as well? Earlier that day, I did the 12 noon show. David did the 8 p.m. show. I had Marco Giovanni on. I had him on. And again, he was on. I thought, you know what? I've never properly... I mean, me and Marco chat a lot, but usually it's in chaos like this, at protests and at pubs, or whatever it is. They can never appreciate each other's company, but it's just me and him one-on-one. And he, we had a fantastic chat, and I came off back really positive, even more so with Marco, going, this guy is like super intelligent. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I think that of you as well. Just after that interview with David, I was thinking, wow. I didn't think I could have any more respect, but now I have even more respect.
Well, I could have told that spoken much longer. We didn't cover the cash thing. We didn't cover this. And David has taken this side. We designed this flyer. It's outstanding in the park. Yeah. So where I live locally, I've been in all the businesses and shops, and a couple of us have, and we've got a really good engagement from all the local businesses. And more businesses are displaying this in their windows, in their premises.
Fantastic.
So David has taken this. So he invited me on because he got the PDF file. So I'm really glad that I spoke to him, but I wanted to talk about this, and we just went on. But he said, come back on again and we'll discuss it.
Definitely. And it's very fitting we're actually at the Bank of England, isn't it?
Exactly.
Where the inflation really, all the root cause analysis is this place. But there you go. But Danny, thank you. Have
a great day.
I'm sure there's many people that want to chat to you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Danny, for that. Cheers.
People died. They're guilty of genocide. So I say, they lied. People died. They're guilty of genocide. Do it with me, guys. They lied. People died. They're guilty of genocide. They lied. People died. They're guilty of genocide. Amazing. Cheers, guys. I'm going to do something else as well to lift the mood a little bit. We've done this a few times at Worldwide Demos, and it's called the European Hacker. Alright guys, so if everyone puts their hands in the air,
Steve. Like you just don't care. Brother, you alright? You good? You alright? You good? Alright, I'm live streaming now. You mind being on camera at the moment? Alright, okay, no worries. No worries, we're doing thing. Okay. Let's go. So yeah, please share this around, guys, if you can. Let me. Also, watching Odyssey Classic Games, in case YouTube bans it for some reason. And also live streaming from Odyssey, so subscribe to my Odyssey channel as well. They're wearing red, guys. I can't remember their significance.
And the first person that's speaking is my right hand, and she helps me so much with these rallies. She does outreach 3 times a week, and she's been doing it from the very beginning. She's so dedicated to this movement, and I love her to pieces. So Cheska, from Outreach Worldwide.
Thanks, Fiona, that was very gracious of you. Hi guys, it's so lovely to see all of you here today, still turning out, because you guys who are here today know that it is not over yet. This is just the beginning. So give yourselves a big round of applause for showing up today. Every single one of you people out here has got a story. Every single one of you has been through something, and that's why you're here today, standing up for the children and standing up against tyranny. And thank you so much for coming today for what is going to be a beautiful and powerful day. So guys, if you don't know me, my name is Cheska, but my name is actually Francesca. Cheska was trying for me to be anonymous, but that didn't work when I got outed in the Daily Mail. So my name is Francesca, and I run an amazing group called Outreach Worldwide. And what makes the group is the amazing outreachers who are here today. Some are on stage, some are in the crowd. So give it up for all the outreachers here today! Because outreach and educating and empowering your local communities is how we also make lasting change. By getting out in the community and explaining to people who might be too busy to know what's going on, how things are going on and what actions they can take. And I would just like to say to all of those who say protests don't work, protests do work, because it was this very rally that got vaccine mandates overturned. Because give it up for that! Because if we would have bent over these vaccine mandates, we would all be FUC, you know the rest of that, because it would have had a disgusting, disastrous effect. So protesting does work. Don't let anybody tell you that it doesn't work. It's one of the things that works the most. But change doesn't happen overnight. Change takes time. Every great movement in history, the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement, it takes time for change to be effective. And we have to stay patient and we have to keep going because we've got a long road ahead. So today, we're here and the theme is crimes against humanity. Because they lied and millions of people worldwide died. The British government has got blood on their hands. Bolton. They are guilty of treason. They are guilty of crimes against humanity. And it has been going on since the empire started, and nothing has changed. And that is why we're here today. So a lot of you might not know me, but I've got a bit of a story. I was groomed when I was 14. A lot of bad things happened. But the reason why we're here today is, if I can find my voice, such a big, massive voice, then every
How's the sound? Is it
can find.
is the wind cutting in or something, guy? What's wrong with the sound?
We're here today. What we've been focusing on with Outreach Worldwide, and a lot of amazing other groups have too, as Stand in the Park local groups and other groups. So big shout out to everybody who does outreach. We have been focusing on stopping the sexualisation of children. That is something that we really, really need to focus on. So I want to thank everyone who came to Drag Queen Story Time! They tried to say that I was a Nazi, they tried to say I was a fascist. I couldn't believe it. I am never in life as a mixed race person. My dad's Jamaican, Nazi, and a it's so easy to call someone racist.
Yeah.
It's so easy to call someone white because they're ignorant to me. And I want to say thank you everyone who's
easily thrown about. Enough
at Drag Queen Story. We need to continue that because the sexualisation of children is a dangerous agenda. And we have got to stand tall against this.
Damn right.
And this goes hand in hand with the trans agenda. I will not discriminate against anybody if they tell me they're trans, but at the same time,
maybe it's the I'm near the speaker, maybe it's something to do with that.
Two sexes, male and female, and that will never change. Don't be afraid to stand strong. Do not be gaslighted into propaganda. Because what happens when we start denying basic biological facts is we go down dangerous territory. What is going to be next?
I apologise, guys. This is a really shit potato phone. It's my backup phone. My main phone broke, and obviously I'm not in the best financial circumstances at the moment. But yeah, I do apologise. That's the best I can do at the moment. But I promise I will improve over time. Try to anyway.
What do? Do we stand up for truth and justice, or do we cower? We've got to stand up, we've got to stand tall, and we've got to inspire. We set the example. We are the ones who are resisting this. So give yourselves a big cheer.
Like I said, guys, you can contribute somehow. That would be much appreciated. Like I said, I'm doing hashtag van life. Somewhat by choice, somewhat by force.
I've been homeless before. I had my son when I was 16 years old, but I got through it with support. And I'm here to say that you are all special people. For the last 2 years, I've seen a lot of your amazing, beautiful faces.
If UNN grows, obviously that means more full-time opportunity for me, more shifts for me. So we build a network, we can build me having a somewhat decent job.
Poison vaccinations, from the sexualisation. In 2010, I was lucky enough to go to university and get a human rights degree. I never used it after. I thought, this degree is pointless. Why have I done this?
Yeah.
And then the scandemic happened, and people were calling me for help, and people were in such a bad way. So boy, has that degree come in handy. And guess what? The year after I graduated, they scrapped the course. You can't do human rights BSc anymore. So I've got
that's coming in the school skills as well, guys. They're trying to determine what subjects you study. You go, I want to learn human rights, I want to learn economics. No, you don't. You want to learn feminist dance theory.
Oh, okay. Vaccine passports. We defeated vaccine mandates. So much so that now they are backtracking on vaccinations for children. got that to be proud of.
She also Justin McElhinney and Bolts as well. It's fitting that Rick McElhinney knows it's been a terrible camera. But on the wall there, on the doors itself, it's got the snake, you know, like
He's not afraid to go out there and talk about what's controversial.
what's his name? It's on every ambulance.
So I just want to say, thank you for coming, guys.
Hippocrates? Is it Hippocrates?
We really, really, really need you guys to please dig deep inside your soul, but also, please, if you can afford it, please donate into the boxes that are going to be coming around.
This whole movement, guys, is run on average donations from average people. We get no big funding, mate. That's what I mean. That's how you know we're the true movement. All those other movements, Extinction Rebellion, Black Lives Matter, etc., they're all funded by big, shaggy organizations and individuals and entrepreneurs, people like Bill Gates, people like George Soros, stuff like that. We're not funded by any of that. At least, if we are, there might be one or two millionaire, but to the magnitude of George Soros and Bill Gates, it's a speck in the sand. You know what I mean? It's a grain in the sand.
You know what? We're not going to ask for money. There was a stigma attached to it, but we're broke, and that's just the reality of it. So please try and help, because this is a full-time job for some. They want us poor, sick, scared, and dead. But Jesus Christ has not given us the spirit of fear. He has given us the spirit of a warrior. So
Mike's right there. Right there. He's just pacing around, taking it all in. He's taking it all in.
Yes, it's amazing. And we've worked together for a year now.
He's sensing the energies of before he sensed me talking about it, that's why he's sensing the evilness of the city of London here.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I just mentioned we don't often raise money, but this costs money. And it costs
also, I keep meaning to make you a mod. If you want to be a mod, it's up to you. But
to put this on, we're sending our message. All the people that are walking past and the people that we're going to see.
I don't know why they're wearing red. I've done it all white. What's the red? I can't remember. Maybe because we're in the red in terms of debts. We're in the red. But maybe that's too smart. Maybe I'm thinking too smart into it.
I wonder what the reaction would be when I talk about it, because I don't. We are.
There are those places around this small area here.
I'm not a royalist, but we're not going to take our methods to dilute it with any current affair, with any consequence, of anything else that's going on in the world. Because what we're doing in the next Wednesday is too damn important.
Yes, David is David I.
And let's talk about it. When we get the government out. When we get the government out. When will the truth come out? When we get the government out. Brilliant, guys, thank you. So our next speaker is amazing. She's done a lot of work. She travels all over the country. She goes to tiny little villages and towns, and she's campaigning to keep it quiet. Everyone welcome Debbie Hicks.
So my camera, this is my backup camera. This is my backup on it. Very good.
Thank you very much. So I'm thank the owner of all the team that have done this today. It's a very challenging time to hold a protest.
Pretty good number of people have turned out. I'd say we're all concentrating on this little island. I'd say there's about 5,000 people, I'd say.
And everybody over the last 2 years for what you have done and for holding up.
Yeah, Piers Corbyn and David Icke were chatting. Wouldn't you love to be a final ball to that conversation?
Challenging time in Muslim history, and we're still here!
Yeah, after Piers Corbyn chats, if he does chat, I think he is going to be talking soon. It's going to be a ticket parade, after he chats, but it's not going to be tickets. It's not going to be like confetti. It's going to be his leaflets. Just, remember at the end of what was it? Was it Crystal Maze? They go into that little room or that sort of glass room, and they got to grab all the money. Was it Crystal Maze? They got to grab all the money and put it in their pockets. That's basically what's going to happen with all the leaflets. Grab him and put it in your pocket. In this case, people won't grab them. It can be like the least you can grab.
We will keep protesting. We will keep coming out. You will keep going out. We will here.
Yeah, remember the original Batman movie in 1980? Was it 1989 it came out? One with Jack Nicholson. He's going around Gotham City in a ticket parade. He's giving out all Joker money. It's like that. Pierce money. Pierce money. Just leave it.
Of this country, perhaps of the world, actually, I would say.
Hello, sure, nice to meet you.
What I want to talk to you about today is what they are trying to do with our money.
I think once we properly.
Because I'm sure you're embarrassed by Alex. They are trying to do in this country, lots of countries around the world. Lots of countries are piloting this country.
Yeah, we have met once, formally, I mean, yeah.
Other countries have already started to roll out the central bank digital currency. The Bahamas, Jamaica, Nigeria already have started the central bank digital currency. Others are piloting. Japan, Australia, China, Russia, something to think about. Sweden, countries that are piloting central bank currency. And guess what they tried to do here? Starting the central bank digital currency. But guess what happened, folks? And this is where we should stay hopeful.
Bangalore wrong. Very good, Gary Davis. Yes, Guys, free to pass this around. Thing is, this is actually quite easy to sell on the street about money. It's very easy to sell. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not as controversial as the jab and the lockdown and stuff. You just go, hey, do you like what do you think about digital currency? It's very easy to sell. So that's why I advise. If you're not listening to controversial situations or anything like that, it's easy to sell on the streets. Anyone, don't know if they're jabbed or unjabbed, whether they're pro-lockdown, anti-lockdown, it's very easy to sell. And if you go on to, I'll put the website in now. You can get some free leaflets. It's not Pierce's website. Don't worry, my side. It's David Cruz's one. I believe it's don't pay the right way. It's opposition to Don't Pay UK, which is totally controlled up stuff, guys. That's only being used to bring in a Labour government. That's all. That's the overall thing is. The overall agenda is to bring in a thing. Don't pay. Oh, that's quite wrong. Don't pay the right way.
Stop using your phone apps. Get rid of those phone apps.
I think it's .co.uk.
Do it today.
But check that. If you want a free pack of leaflets and stuff like that.
The second thing, this is where we have the power, this is micro action on the ground and create change from the bottom up. I want you to talk to every person you know.
And guys, watch Unity News Network. I do a show on that as well. David Cruz does the A show. He's like the Scottish Alex Jones, if you know what I mean. He'll talk about it on his show as well because he's the one organising it as well. So check that out.
Why they must get out cash every day? Why they must avoid those cashless businesses? Boycott those cashless businesses!
It's on Telegram, it's on Instagram, Twitter, everything. And the website to watch it live, and the main one is.
Agree with me. Once you've had a conversation, don't tell someone else and ask them to do the same.
Ask everybody to do that, and it takes off pretty straight. The next thing I'd like you to do is pay your bills with cash at the post office. Stop those direct debits, ask for a gyro from the energy.
Yeah, just put the website in there, guys, so I do follow.
Go to the post office and pay what you can afford in cash. Because if you do that, and it ends up before, you have a lawful position that you're paying what you can afford. And that's
So also UNN's Odyssey as well. I've got to put more commands for Nightbot. When he's not busy banning people for using 3 emojis in a row, or whatever it is. Here's my link for Odyssey, also we live stream. I'm live streaming Odyssey right now as well. In case the stream is out, watch Odyssey, that's the backup one. And also, we're on Telegram, we're on Instagram, so I don't use that yet. But again, this is for me, but of course you can search for UNN as well, Unity News Network, links to that.
They're not going to get rid of cash, they're going to make it so hard for us to
help pay the regular, yeah, no the VAT. Yeah, VAT's still about. It's unbelievable. That's it. We never left the EU, guys, I'm telling you. We never left the EU.
To pay for your shopping and servicing to your face, but you know what you're going to do? You're not going to do it!
Yeah, it's a mess, non-compliance. Go, no, fuck you, we're not paying it.
Boycott those tills! Don't go up to those tills! Tell everybody to stop using those tills! Go up to a till with a human being and use cash. You get everybody doing that. Their plans are going to fall flat. So this is how we fight back. A few other things I'd like you to think about who are campaigners. Please think about going out for at least 1 or 2 hours every week with your boards, with leaflets, with street stalls, and campaign to keep cash.
Cool, thank you, Tony Garrett. That's big help, thank you. Like I said, I want to go full time to Odyssey personally, but once I overtake my YouTube channel, that'll be my main channel. You know what I mean?
Make that part of your campaign.
Yeah, man, I'm good.
And boycott campaign 2-1. Those who are old enough to remember the boycott so deposits from South Africa under apartheid will know that eventually those are pots work. So they do work. And it's very effective if you choose a small or medium-sized business to start with that's going to really feel it if you boycott them, because they'll give in much.
Yeah, guys, you guys are new here as well. Do subscribe to the channel.
So that's the way to do it.
Please do so on Odyssey as well, because Odyssey is where I want to go. I'm trying to drag people from YouTube and take them to Odyssey, you know what I mean? Because most people don't know about alternatives to YouTube.
Talk to them. Why are you going cashless? Explain to them there are ways to run a business where you still can use cash without being penalised. There are bank accounts still that they can use for the cash funding. So finally, I'd just like to say to you, why the caution. What kind of future do you want for your children, for your grandchildren? What kind of future do we want? Do we want a future where your bank account shuts down because you spent your money on the wrong thing? Where you've done too many miles in your car? Where you've eaten too much meat this week? Do you want a future where your children will be forced to be transhuman? Part machine, part AI, part technology. Do you want a future where you can't leave your houses? Where you can only go a few miles radius of your house? Do you want a future where you can't hug and love your children and your grandchildren and they can't do that to you?
Only if they're rich.
This is not the future we're going to have. We're not going to have a future of love. We're going to have a future where you hug your children, you hug your grandchildren, where they have a right to go to work, where they have a right to travel, where they have a right to eat what they want to, meet who they want to, get married, rights of passage. They have a right to all of that, and we are going to make sure that they have it.
you. Thank you, Debbie. Massive round of applause for Debbie Hicks. Okay, we have a living legend that's going to speak next, and I know you've probably heard him speak before, but this man has been right about almost everything that's been happening to us, and has been predicting everything basically for the last 30 years. He's been demonised, villainized, and defamed in the media. This guy is not a conspiracy theorist, he's a psychic. Danny Lake!
Thank you. Hello. Well, bloody well. How appropriate, how apt that we should stand here today.
Calm down, my side. Calm down, my side. Don't blow your load.
In one of the global bellies of the beast, the City of London Financial District, the Square Mile. And how apt too that we gather here today in this belly of the beast.
Do share this around, guys.
While
For David Icke
in
people.
other parts of this city, millions come together to pay homage and exalt a very symbol of their oppression and enslavement. And that's what I want to emphasize today, where all this is actually coming from. Where COVID came from, the jab came from, human-caused global warming nonsense has come from, the Ukraine narrative, and now the eulogization by so many millions of a royal family that is the head of state only because of who had sex with who within one family. It is nonsensical. It is an expression of the very hierarchy so run from places like this that has held humanity in servitude for known human history. Of course,
Thank you, Andrew.
the demonic faces on these banners must face justice for their mega crimes against humanity. And we must not rest until they do so. Hancock, Whitty, are all of them. Yes, Midazolam Matt Hancock, still at large, a man who oversaw the mass murder of the elderly in the spring of 2020 with an end-of-life drug called Midazolam, who then called it the first wave of COVID when it was the first wave of democide, murder, mass murder by the state. Hancock, Whitty, Valance, Javid, Johnson, Van Tam, yes, they must face the consequences for their actions. But it goes much bigger than them. They are not the architects of mass murder and mass control. They are the gophers, the agents, the accomplices of something much greater that hides in the shadows in places like this, the Square Mile, run by secret societies of pure, bloody evil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Carl. He likes the handcuffs.
And I say this to the police forces of these lands. It is to your shame in extremis that you have stood by and continue to stand by while your fellow humans are murdered. And not only that,
they don't care.
you then protect,
They're like twiddling their thumbs. Tyranny.
keep from justice the very people who are doing the murdering, while at the same time you abuse, seek to silence and marginalize those with the moral courage and the awareness to challenge
Iron
the
Maiden.
murder
Yeah,
and
best song
expose
is
the murder.
The Klansman.
You in uniform
Or Wasted Years.
are not there primarily to protect the people. That is a myth. You are there to protect those from whom the people need protected. Where is your moral courage? Where is your self-respect? Where is your awareness of what you do?
Yeah, Pierce has got to follow David Icke.
But
so the equivalent if you're like the Monkees band following Jimi Hendrix.
talk about the oil rags of this tyranny. We must never forget the engineers, because, like I say, these people, even Schwab and Gates, higher up the hierarchy as they may be, are still gophers for a force, a network that spans the world and works through apparently individual governments to the same sinister, satanic end. And places like this, the plan is this, which is why we must, yes, focus on the gophers and the oil rags for their part in this, but we must not lose sight of where it's coming from, because the plan is to create the unfolding catastrophe for humanity.
Tony Garrett, don't give
That's
me don't
happening
give
all
Pierce
over
any
the
ideas.
world, and
He'll probably take
this winter
that.
we see nothing yet with the energy prices, where people on fixed incomes and no incomes will have to choose between food and warmth. I wonder if Charlie Boy were doing that.
I think you pay inheritance tax. He doesn't pay inheritance tax.
As it started with lockdown and continues now with the destruction of the economy through the massive increases in energy and fuel. The idea is for people in individual countries, quote, to blame their governments and their cult gophers in government for everything. Because the idea then is, having dismantled our lives and our ability to put food on the table and warmth in our homes, that the other level of the cult, via its corporations, its banks, yes, and its politicians, political people who are controlled by them, to come forward and say, look at the mess that governments have made of your lives. But we are now going to step forward, we, the corporations, the banks, the billionaires of the cult, to save you from what your governments have imposed upon you. When those same people from the background have
unfortunately, Carl, that's what's going to happen. He's going to get away with it.
Catastrophe via those governments and gophers in government. It is a mind trick that they are seeking to play. It's in their bloody documents, and we mustn't buy it. We must see the golfer's responsibility, but we must also see where it is coming from. And so yes, they must face the consequences, but we must understand the game that is playing us and cease to take part. And there's another mind trick that we must always be aware of, and that is that we are manipulated in our anger, in our fury at what is being done, to become what we oppose. What we
guys, is Siraj live streaming, or is he?
The world over,
he's still on a binge.
The history over. You see the evidence constantly of people challenging tyranny and then becoming the architects of tyranny by succumbing to the same mentality, the same methodology of those they oppose. We have to go in another direction. You do not eliminate the low ground by fighting on it. You eliminate the low ground by ceasing to cooperate with it. By building something better and refusing to cooperate with anything else. Because the most powerful word in the English language or any other language is and has always been. It is the word that has ended every tyranny in history, and ultimately it will end this one.
Also, new people who watch
is no, no, no! It is to understand, as we stand, nearly 8 billion people being manipulated and imposed upon by a tiny few. We need to understand where the real power is, and it's not with satanic forces that operate out of places like the City of London. Our perception they have power is a misunderstanding of where the power is. Their power, the power of the few, is simply the acquiescence to their diktats by the many. How can 8 billion people be controlled by a handful unless those 8 billion, or most of them, give their power to the handful? This has to end, and when it ends, this tyranny will end. People keep saying, what's the solution? Get yourself a calculator, put in 8 billion, take away the number in full knowledge who are imposing this, and there's your bloody solution.
That's why they got to own the curriculum. They've got to dominate the curriculum and teach you to be docile.
That stiffened
teach you to be weak.
That courage
teach you to be
stand up to what is a house of cards, if only we would stop holding it together. Let's look our children and grandchildren in the eye and tell them that we're too frightened to stand up to this tyranny. Tell them that we can't be bothered to research what's actually going on, and instead sit there getting our perceptions from the BBC and the Daily Mail.
Yeah, by the way, guys, sorry about my Nightbot. It acts tyrannical.
This is the
it's like Skynet.
For humanity.
Nightbot, you were meant to help me, not ban people for simple emojis. You tyrant.
Pointing the finger and saying it's them. No, it's us. It's always been us. always been us throughout known human history, who have handed out power to the few, which is why throughout human history, the few have always controlled the many. Enough! No more! The mantra of the people, as others gather in their millions to worship their oppression, let the mantra of the awake people, those that can see and their number is growing all the time, be no.
Yeah, I do apologise for Nightbot.
No.
I sort of hate him. He reminds me of, he's like my Charizard from Pokemon. He's like Ash's Charizard.
With our own enslavement, because when we stop doing so, we cannot be enslaved. This is the time to change human history by changing the public population response that has created human history. 8 billion! Wake up! Wake up! And when we do, this tyranny not only will be impossible for it to maintain its power, because its power is our power. We give it to them. It's time, my God, it's long past the time to take it back. Thank you very much.
I never, ever before listened to Straight Night speak. That man is amazing now. The next speaker we have, it's quite sorrowful all the stories we hear about the vaccine victims. Again, this is the crimes these people are guilty of. But our next speaker, Charlotte
buy me a
Wright.
beer, but more is buying me diesel. I'm doing hashtag van life, baby.
Sorry.
Fiona is welling up.
Charlotte's husband, Dr. Stephen Wright, who was a doctor, and he took the vaccine because he thought he was doing his civic duty. As everybody tells me, help people and save lives. I'm so sorry. I usually swear. I'm usually using the C word all the time. I'm sorry. But Charlotte's going to speak and she's going to tell her story. Offering compensation for this poison jab. It will never, ever be enough. It never brings back a life that's been lost. So please, everyone, make some noise for Charlotte Wright. They died. People died. A strong but true statement to make. And a very personal one for me.
Okay.
My husband, Dr. Stephen Wright, was the first person in the UK, and according to Queen's College Hospital, the first in the world to be killed by the AstraZeneca jab. The jab stole the love of my life and left our two young sons without a daddy. Stephen was injected with the first jab in Jan 2021. He died 10 days later from vaccine-induced thrombosis and thrombocytopenia. He was only 32 years old.
Thing is, guys, this is a great cause as well. That vaccine damage payment of 120 grand, that doesn't come from a big pharma Suez coalition, it comes from you guys, it comes from taxpayers. It's even, you're paying for your own. It's fucking shocking.
16 months after I had submitted claim, it was also the first living body committed causation over his death. This money, of course, will be covered by the taxpayer, not by the people responsible, the big pharma corporations.
This is Bank of England. This is the Bank of
mainstream media.
Nearest station is Bank.
Myself and an ever number of the bereaved and injured realised we had been abandoned by those who had been placed in a position of responsibility to inform, support and protect us. We had to find answers ourselves. If anything was to be done, we had to do it. Together, we formed the campaign VIB UK, which stands for Vaccine Injured and Bereaved UK. And what a life-affirming and empowering experience that has been and continues to be. I am as grateful for the support and love of those around me as I am disgusted by the lack of support offered by those that are supposed to lead us. After 18 months of working to raise awareness of what was done to Stephen and the many others who have been harmed, I was finally given a platform by mainstream media to tell my story. I must stress, I'm not media trained. I'm just an ordinary person that has had their life torn apart by the deceit of a pharmaceutical company. The interview was a big learning curve for me. I realised how easily a message can be manipulated, both in leading questions and editing. During that recent BBC interview, which has now been removed, interestingly, I said a few things which, in hindsight, I wouldn't have. I was asked whether Stephen, given informed consent, would have still gone ahead with the jab. The question took me by surprise. I answered instinctively yes, he probably would have, knowing that he trusted the NHS and everything they stood for.
Worst thing you can
but
do.
Really,
it's like the lamb trusting the
I
farmer.
know what he would have done.
The lamb trusts the farmer right until slaughter day.
Him. It would all depend on the information he was given at the time, and honestly, knowing that they would die 10 days later, would anyone take that decision? All I do know for certain is that he was not given informed consent. He was not given the information.
All those nurses and doctors just say the positives, not say any negatives.
His trust in the NHS was betrayed and he died.
It's the state, guys. That's all the NHS is. It's the state
I do not
healthcare
think
service.
the situation is rare.
The state is the
I
biggest
know it
murderer
is
in
not.
history.
That is the last time I will be manipulated into saying that. You may have noticed that jabs relating to pregnant women and
Sage News. I don't know it. I don't know Sage News.
after
Sorry,
a full
but
5 months of
as
children
people
between the ages
watching,
of 5 to 11 being injected, more than half a million of
Unity
these
News
figures,
Network. Do search for
the
that on
advice
all
or offer
social
for them
media.
to get jabs has now been removed in the UK.
Live streams from DLive.
And for pregnant and breastfeeding women, according to the gov.uk website, quote, it is considered that sufficient reassurance of safe use of the vaccine in pregnant women cannot be provided at the present time. They go on to say women who are breastfeeding should also not be vaccinated. I'll just translate that into English. They are now saying if your child is between the ages of 5 to 11, if you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, then don't take the jab. What changed? Why have they come to this conclusion now? Why are the so-called experts the last people to realise this? What happens in the next 18 months? Are they going to say, in light of a great many young athletes suddenly collapsing on the sports field, that it is no longer recommended for those in their 20s, 30s, 50s, 90s? We all know the answer to this. How come they don't? If you look to the mainstream media to honestly investigate the reasons why this is happening, you will be disappointed. They are simply pushing out the same dishonest
really, my size, they're big. Check them up here. What's it about? What's the purpose of it? Is it energy? Is it the cost of living thing, or is it
my
through the
very
jabs?
best friend.
Or both like this?
What gets me out of bed every morning is my 2 young boys. Just imagine if I had followed their advice and injected my 8-year-old and it was him that died. It doesn't bear thinking about. Could I live with myself? Could you? How can they? They died. People died. I've got my hat. Charlotte's amazing, and her story is so heartbreaking. There's so many, hundreds of thousands that we know for sure, millions and millions across the world. And people that are taking this jab, most of them are doing it because they think they're doing the right thing. They think they're doing this to save humanity. But we're doing what we're doing to save humanity. So you guys all today, I want to thank you all for coming.
I wonder if those jab stuff like that in a lockdown. See, the people, see, Saudi Arabia about humanity is, and they don't care about money. They care about morality. They don't care about them. Did you advocate for lockdown? Did you advocate for furlough or whatever it was called in your country? The answer is yes, so what the fuck you at? Fuck off back to your mum. This is what happens because you're too retarded.
All these guys you see wearing red, these amazing marshals that have worked so hard, they do it for nothing. And loads of people, you guys, Lucy, Resistance TV, all the independent media. Give me a round of applause. Thank you. And Rad travelled all over the place. I don't know if you guys know Rad, but he travelled all over Europe, filming rallies all over. So round of applause for Rad, please. Anyway, guys,
where's my applause?
You've
Where's
already
my
seen the
applause?
piece that we got here today. You see the City of London piece. And I don't know, people don't know if you should advertising or China. I've never risk assessment for any rally. I have never asked permission.
For the state, you're asking permission of the state to have a protest. That goes against the whole principle of freedom of assembly and freedom to protest and freedom of speech.
That I have done, I do it because I care about everyone. I care about everyone's children, and we're doing this for our children's children. And the reason I take some of the risks I take, the reason I take the risks is because I don't have children. So I can spend 3 days in a police cell. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I can go on the road.
I'm going to give what's his name now? Senior London Police, your Corps Commander, Mr. Right. I'm not going to say anything bad, don't worry.
Mr. Wrong.
But 1 year ago today, I was arrested and held for 3 days because I paint bombed number 10. So we did that, I say they, I didn't
I'm on low fucking definition.
I literally was so red-handed, somebody popped and I
Picture red-handed, it was all red.
But we paint bombs, I paint bombs peacefully, I wasn't using victims all day. On the gate, so.
Just goes to show how the government is, guys. Can't do a paint job problem.
And we're doing the same thing today. You can see that we're wearing legs, we've got some snappy hats. And the effort that we make to buy this is meant to be addressed by the way, but into a factory. You can see us, we're wearing this, and now that's because obviously crime against humanity, you can see the posters we've made to show the government does have blood in their hands, but also we have a Canadian guest. You can sign, he's from all the way from Paradise, and you'll be able to, he will be speaking soon. Now I'm going to wrap myself up. You already love guys, and everyone to make some noise on this, right? We've got a message. I just want to give a shout out to British Hands for Freedom. And it's lovely. He says we doesn't like praise. And the Euroboards, of course. Thanks, guys. Anyway, on the pin now, you'll see the statue with the horse and the man on it. I don't know who that is. Oh, good. I don't know.
Probably a fucking Rothschild.
The light paper and equal size, so if you can take some away, because we're going to be doing a little bit of outreach on this march, because this is about reaching the people as well. Anyway, the next speaker we have is a guy who's an expert on the land in which you're standing right now. And I don't know if people know, but the square mile is like Vatican City. They've got their own rules, their own peace, their own taxes, their own everything.
Lord
so Terry Paladine, please thank you, sir. We love you, boy.
Oh, that's so cool. Now, I've got to get out in the shade in there. Actually, it's freezing in there in the shade. The building we're right next to here, the Bank of England building, it was privatised in 1694.
Yeah, it was.
And that's when the rock started, the nation state. Because if you're not in control of the currency of the nation, you're not in control of anything. They control the show completely. Anybody that controls your treasury, or your money, your household, they're controlling you. And that's what's happening around the world. So since 1694, that's when the rot started, when King William of Orange sold the Bank of England to privateers, to banksters. So this, he also sold the area we're in now. The 1.2 square mile city of London is a private entity. It's got its own sovereignty. It's not part of the United Kingdom. So this 1.2 square mile, which is governed by a council of 12, and the City of London Mayor, they represent the top 13 families around the world.
Yep.
But, you know, and the scenario is, in here as well, the 1.2 square mile, not only do they control the banking around the world, every country except for 3 nations, so they're controlling countries around the world, except for 3 nations. They're also controlling the judiciary around the world. Which is why all the court cases that have been taking place here and around the world have been falling flat. They control the judiciary because the Bar Association, at the forums of court, Crown Temple, the forums of court at Crown Temple, which is in a temple, Mount Temple, Gray's Inn and Lincoln's Inn, they're controlling the Bar Association around the world. It's a private club. It's not a corporation, a private club.
Yep. I've been saying this for years, guys.
The franchise, the Bar Association,
there's a pyramid here in the centre of the square, and basically, it basically tells you in plain sight that it's a private company, pretty much. Because it quite vaguely and subtly, but it does say it's private, like the Federal Reserve in America. Private companies, totally unaccountable.
The crown is not the crown you think it is. The crown that you believe you're working for is actually Crown Temple. Crown Temple, at the forums of court, created by the Bar Association, is created what is called the Maritime Legal Legislation, which is legal but not lawful. Now, that maritime law is not the law of the land, it's piracy, it's the law of the sea. And it was created here in the 1.2 square mile City of London before us of court. Now, I'm speaking to you officers in the periphery over there because this is so important. Because you're, i.e. the 48 chief constables, I know many of you think there's only 43 constabularies, but it's actually 48 when you include nuclear, Westminster, police, etc. So the 4 chief constables that you're taking orders from, and the superintendents, they know what is happening here and around the world. All the documents have been given to these chief constables for the past 2 years of the fraud that's taking place. They've been given the documents. They're complicit with these crimes. Now they've given about 4 months ago. And they said they've done nothing because the 48 chief constables do not work. They're not working for the country. They're controlled by the City of London, the 13 families, and the 300 shareholders, the Committee of 300.
Yeah.
And that Committee of 300, those 13 people, goes back generations.
Gerard Batten, when he was MEP, a UKIP MEP in the European Parliament, he directly asked the European Parliament, why is new legislation being passed? Why is it that shareholders of the Bank of England are being kept secret? Their names are kept off it. It's censored. So you want to see the shareholders of the Bank of England, and they won't give it to you. So who are these people who own the Bank of England, shareholders in it, and are authorised in the printing of money? Who are these people? No doubt it's going to be people like George Soros, it's going to be people like Klaus Schwab, it's going to be people, all of this, Bill Gates, everything. And they're printing the money, and they're purposely crashing. They're making your money worthless.
In certain shops, it isn't going to work. And what they're also doing now, the reason everything's inflation's gone through the roof is because they've orchestrated it. It's the same on every Western nation. It's orchestrated. They did the lockdowns. During the lockdowns in 2020, it was to bankrupt every small and medium business because these 300 shareholders and the City of London, they own all the big multinationals. They want to completely take over. So what they're doing right now is they're resuming that takeover. They want to bankrupt every small and medium business, and they're doing that now with the fuel. Because restaurants and all, they can't absorb a 5, 6, 7, 800% increase in their fuel. Now, the reason they've done this as well, the way they've got away with it, the past 2.5 years, they've been limiting the leases on the drill rigs for the gas and oil drill rigs to keep supply down, to keep gas and oil supply down. Pushes the prices up. That's how it's been done. Now, we've had some successes with some of the judges in America, especially one state in particular. I don't want to state where it is. It's because I don't want people to try and stop, try and act against them. But most judges here, all these court cases here, especially lower courts of justice, or should I say injustice, because no justice is going to happen there. They're all controlled.
I apologise, guys. I'm a moment.
They're all controlled by the Common Association. Because they get their license around the world. Every council, every attorney, get their license to operate from here.
Minor income, I won't go UBI, I refuse to.
So, if you're controlling the judiciary, then yes, as I say, we've had some successes in America. By some standing out to them. In fact, recently, he put a writ against Biden because they're doing the same over there, same as they're doing here. I.e., to release the leases for the deliveries to increase supply. Because not only do they want to bankrupt those medium and small businesses, they also want to bankrupt individual households. It's just a resumption of what's been happening in 2020. Now, I'll speak to these police again on the periphery, because like I say, you're supposed to represent the people. I know we've got City of London police here. We've got some national police over here.
Yeah, they're out of their boundary. They have no power over it.
If you're getting orders from your chief constables and superintendents that are unlawful, you have to reject it. It's your family.
They won't reject it, mate. It's too long. They won't reject it. They're comfortable with their money, their income that they get. Only change their money reflected. That's the only way they'll come on.
Now, the documents that were given
they have no morals. There is no such thing as a good copper.
They've gone through and they've settled it for 2 months, and they've just released it without doing anything. Because, as I said to you, your superiors, they haven't been chosen. Your chief constables, they haven't been chosen for integrity and honesty and good at their job. They've been chosen because they agreed to do whatever they're asked to do.
Yeah, they're the most compliant. But then again, all of these coppers, they're the most psychopathic.
But what is happening now, this is a bioweapon. And there's contents in there that's never been released. In fact, even the things we do know about now, because Pfizer released some of these papers regarding the contents of their vials. Now, they was forced to, they had to go to a judge to force them to release these documents. But they're releasing them every 7 months, every month. But in their 3-month trial, one fact, this is just Pfizer, by the way, in their 3-month trial, before we put these drugs on the public, 1,223 died from lung gas in just the Pfizer trial within this 3-month period. Now, if you lay that over a 12-month period, a 12% death mortality these actual jabs. Do you not realise what's taking place here? The people, i.e. the 300 shareholders and the Grand Corporate City of London, they've been saying for decades they want mass repopulation. There's too many people on the planet.
You know who my favourite president of all time is in the US? It's Andrew Jackson. He participated in what's known as the bank wars. A lot of people don't know about it. He beat the banks, the National Bank. He closed the second Bank of America, and it was closed for about 100 years. Central Bank of America. It came back, unfortunately, 100 years later, known as the Federal Reserve now. But he beat the banks. It was the bank wars. He knew exactly what was going on, and he was. He knew what was going on. He forcibly shut the Bank of America.
It's not. It will tell you it's been on the essence of
fuck Trump. That's not shit. Not your saviour guy. He didn't shut the Federal Reserve. He didn't do any of that useless shit. He's just got this He's got this massive PR thing behind him. Makes him look like a god. He's not. Andrew Jackson, people like that. They're the ones. People like Ron Paul, the greatest president the US never had. They're the people who would have done something. Trump gave more money to Big Pharma. Very popular, continued those 5 wars that the US were really engaged in. He ain't no hero, I'm telling you. He was bailed out by the Rothschilds and everything, but on his cabinet, he put a Rothschild on his cabinet. He put Goldman Sachs head man on his cabinet as well. He's for big banks, mate. He's for big banks, big business, big pharma. Trump ain't no one's hero, mate. That's just the reality of it.
You have to keep speaking. I speak to a lot of people all the time.
I would have people drop off the chat now because I've said I'm there to conflict Trump.
So many people are unaware of what is happening. They listen to the soft that they are that's hearing nothing but propaganda. Tell them.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
What we're giving you to talk is TV news on TV channels, so 3 pictures. And you keep going, don't operate through them here. Tell them what to do some information. Tell them they're kept some information about the fraud that's taking place. Because most people think this is too big to be a fraud, there's too many people involved. But every NHS trust manager knows what's happening. Again, sensitive constables. I like the word perfect that David uses, but the word perfect is perfect. Because that's what the law goes. The only reason they're also getting away with this, apart from the mainstream media, they have all their brokers in place. And that's the same all over the world. The public sector is taken over by the heads. They've been chosen
I just seen Chris Scott. He's probably
knows what's happening. They're complicit with it times. Same with the councils.
He's like, fucking hell, he's I think I'm fucking talking
documents. We give them the documents. They know what's happening. They've been chosen. They're complicit with this. Now, they think that they and their families are going to survive this. But if they get away with this, they're all going to fall. So they're actually being complicit with their own demise. This is the insanity of this. Anyway, discuss this your way. What was it? I wasn't really sure. I don't want to bore any people. I know I'm saying many things that you know, but the people that are listening on the live stream, they don't know all of this. They simply don't know. The third taking place is completely off the chair. Now, as I said before, we will win this, but we have to keep fighting back. Fighting back. Many more people now have awakened to what is taking place. Now, as regards to the military and the police, I mean, really it's so difficult because they seem to be breaking when you say anything to them.
The police and the military won't come on site. The Milgram experiment proves that, guys. The veterans are the only ones because they've been out of the service and they've seen both sides of the coin now and they can see that the state doesn't give a shit about veterans. They're the key, in my opinion. There's like 1 million veterans on the streets, as in out of service right now. About one quarter of them are on the streets because they've seen how the state don't give a damn about it.
When you know this COVID-19, which is on par with the seasonal flu, will never affect the children. But the jabs are killing them now. They've been killing them since they gave the jab to them.
Andrew Jackson killed the banks, yes, second national bank, yes, but that's why, I know obviously Andrew Jackson wasn't everyone's cup of tea, he was a bit like, you know, he challenged people to chill out, I mean, he was such a badass as well, the commander-in-chief, instead of like what the weak pussies like Obama and Biden did of weaponizing the FBI to like do their dirty work for them. Andrew Jackson, you know, he's commander-in-chief. We disagree with him. I got it all. Who's always, yeah, but you know, he's not perfect. He's got a very checkered history, but once the things he's done that were good is what people need to aspire to be closed. He closed the National Bank. He's look into it, guys. He's purposely not spoken about. I imagine the history of him has been edited, like how the history of Abraham Lincoln has been rewritten. Abraham Lincoln, one of the most evilest presidents ever think. He didn't give a damn about black people. He used that as a strategy because the Union were losing the war, and they had to somehow, derail South American war. He made a decree about it. Honest day is that's the man world we live in. Honest day wasn't honest. You got more of a hero than everything.
Yeah, push the basic kingdom here. So they're taking that job away, and you'll get a basic kingdom. But the basic kingdom will be, you've got to take medicine. Because they want to medicine is going to be the bioweapon. I want to say bioweapon because they're not vaccines, that's what these caps are. The scientists, the biologists, the top biologists around the world have stated, this is a killer. They are bioweapons, they're not vaccines. And they bring them out in 3 months. people's died. So, but they know how disease are. But that is the idea. That's why they manufacture COVID-19 in a lab. They manufacture in a lab by using gain of function research, i.e. Tony Fauci, Peter Daszak, Rolf Barrick, but they're only working, they're just gophers again for the City of London, the shareholders. They are the main players that are doing this. And I know they're going to look at me mocking me now, because we're going to, look, MI6 intelligence run their operations around the world for what we call I'm not going to use the word elite, because these people are not elite. They're a bunch of
I've heard about that, yeah.
So,
for everyone, because I got quite on my back. Well, it's pretty potato. It's pretty potato. You might cut out.